Hey everybody, this is Natalie Vartanian of nataliethecoach.com, and this is the second Google Hangout on air. And last month we talked about how to get back out there when it comes to love and dating. And this month, thanks to a really good friend of mine, the topic is how to date yourself. Because we were talking, and one of the things that came up was, okay, so you're either just getting back out there or you've been dating for a little while, but you're very clear on who you want to be with. And that might take a while. And so what do you do in the meantime? And what do you do in the meantime? And the answer was date yourself. And that might seem like a simple answer, or it might seem like an easy answer, but I know that there might be a lot wrapped up in that whole concept of dating yourself. And so that's why we decided, all right, May's topic for the Hangout on Air is going to be how to date yourself. So one of the things that I wanted to first start out with was a little bit of a story. So I've, as I mentioned in my last Hangout, have been dating, especially online dating, for over 15 years. So I know what it's like to start dating and then stop dating and then start dating and then stop dating. And for the most part, I feel like I've been pretty good of when I've been single and I've really enjoyed myself. And when I was in a relationship, really being present to that too. However, there were also times where I was super impatient. I was like, when the F is my guy going to show up? Really? Like, when is that going to happen? Because I can't wait anymore. And that energy, it really, first of all, honor it, because there is frustration there. and it's okay to feel frustrated. There's nothing wrong with being upset or frustrated, but feel it, because the problem is you don't feel it, and so it festers. And any kind of emotion that isn't actually expressed out, like whether you need to cry, whether you need to scream, whether you need to hit a pillow, whether you need to go for a run, whatever it is, that energy, that emotion needs to move. And that way it won't get stuck inside. So that's one of the first things, is acknowledge where you're at. If you're dating and you're frustrated, or you're feeling impatient, or you're upset, you're pissed off, you're sad, you're lonely, all of that is okay. You get to just acknowledge however you're feeling, and it's all fine. It really is. It's understandable. So let yourself just feel whatever you're feeling. And know that, again, it's okay. So going back to the story is, so there were times where I would date and I was really impatient. I wanted to be with my partner. And the thing that would always get me back into a place of groundedness around it was trusting that I'm going to meet the person whenever that's going to happen. And if that's the case, and I know that that's going to happen, so if I really do believe that that's true, and it's going to happen when the time is right and when it's supposed to happen, because everything happens for a reason, then what do I do in the meantime? How do I spend my time? How do I want to grow in a way that will prepare me for that relationship, right? Because I don't want to feel like I'm just wasting time or just idling away until a relationship happens, because that is a really tragic way to just be in general in life, where one day when XYZ happens, we will be happy. Be happy now, and so that's a big part of the concept of dating yourself, treating yourself the way that you want to be treated in a relationship, that you don't have to wait. It's not, my life is going to get better when I'm with the person. It's my life is great now, and this person is a bonus. They're the cherry on the sundae. So going back to that, so dating yourself, treating yourself the way that you want to be treated, living your days and your lives the way that you want your days and your lives to go, whether you're in a relationship or not. Because here's the other thing, is when you're dating yourself, you really are telling the universe, basically, this is how I deserve to be treated. The way that you are with yourself is communicating at all times, whether you realize it or not. You're communicating, you're putting out a message. If you're spending your days in your house, crying, alone, frustrated, like that's the message that's going out, that I am comfortable being at home, sad, depressed, crying. Or you can put the message out of, I deserve to have fun. I get to have fun. This is how I want to spend my life. I want to be having adventures. I want to travel. I want to go out to dates at movies or dinner or do fun things like go-kart racing, whatever that is. It's, again, communicating that message. So ask yourself, first and foremost, if you were dating somebody or you were in a relationship, what would that look like? What kinds of things would you be doing? Take a moment. I can wait. I'm patient. I've learned patience, from dating myself. But ask yourself, what would you be doing if you were in a relationship? Would you be taking weekend trips to a location an hour or two away? Would you be having days where you're just laying around at home and doing self-care things like staying in your PJs and reading and drinking tea? Would you be going to museums and art galleries? Would you try new things? Because here's the thing, you can do those things now. Why wait, right? Why wait? And that's the big message that I want to get across is, it's a funny thing about transitions, because it really is a transition period, right? You're here and you want to be here. And so there's something in the middle, and that time is a transition period. And if we're always spending time thinking about the future and how it would be so much better than it is now, then we're taking the power away from us and our ability to create that now, as much of it as possible anyway. Obviously, you're not going to do exactly the same things with a partner as you would by yourself. But sex, you can have sex with yourself. I mean, self-pleasuring, pretty great. So even that, it's, oh, I would be having so much more sex. Okay, are you self-pleasuring? No? Why not? Why not still have those experiences? Why not still give yourself pleasure? And so that's the question that we get to ask. What would I be doing if I were in a relationship? But more specifically, what are the things I want to be doing? What would I want to be doing in a relationship? And how can I do those things now? And literally look at your calendar and block out time. So that's the second step. So we're having the questions of what would I want to be doing? And then the second piece is literally scheduling the dates. Because again, the way you treat yourself is communicating to others the way you want to be treated, whether you realize it or not. So are you being intentional? Are you taking yourself seriously? Are you scheduling dates with yourself and then sticking to them? Because again, having someone be proactive in that way and then also following through is, I don't know about you, but for most of us women, really important. We want someone that takes the charge, that is proactive, is intentional, and then is a man of their word or a woman of their word, whatever. But they follow through. I think that's probably one of the sexiest things that, speaking to any woman, right, is I want someone to do what they say and say what they do. Because that's trustworthy. And so are you trustworthy? Are you able to set time aside for yourself and really follow through on that because you feel you're that important? So just take a moment and ask that. If you scheduled those things, would you follow through on yourself? Do you feel you're that important that you get to have that time to do the things that feel good to you and that you love? Because that is what you get to have, and that gets to happen now. And it doesn't have to be when you're in a relationship, right? So that's part 2, being proactive yourself. Scheduling, go out on the dates. So if one of the things that you were saying was literally, I would want to go to more museums, grab a friend, go by yourself. Like, what are the excuses? And if you find yourself making excuses, that would be the area for you to dive a little deeper into. Because what really is stopping you from doing those things now? What really is getting in the way of you having the kind of life that you want to have, instead of thinking that that's going to start in the future? Do you feel that you deserve that? Do you feel that you're worth that? Those are the questions, again, because if you find resistance and if you're making excuses, how is that going to be any different when you're in a relationship and things come up? Is it going to be the same thing, that it's easy to just go into a place of making excuses or, not honoring yourself? So then this is number 3, is that the way you're acting now and the way you're structuring your life and setting yourself up now is really setting the groundwork for when you're dating and in relationship with others. If you are not valuing your time now, if you're not really taking care of yourself and asking for what you want and asking for what you need and fulfilling those desires now, how is it going to be any different then? It's exercising that muscle. Think of it as that. This time, this transition time when you're dating yourself really is training. It's that pre-work. And I'll tell you a funny story, actually. Bob and I were going through an exercise. So we subscribe to Unbox Love, and they send a date in a box every month. Actually, that might even be a cool thing to do. Subscribe for that for yourself. But so yeah, every month we get a date in a box. And one of the dates was these little books that said, things I love about you. And you give them to your partner and they fill them out, and they're the same questions, and then you get to trade them and read them out loud. And so one of the questions was, I wish I had known you when blank. And of course, because we're the same person sometimes, I feel like, but we both had a hard time with that question because we both were thinking, I don't wish I had known you any other time. The time I met you was the perfect time. Because if I had met him before that, I probably would not have been ready for him. I think I would have done it all wrong. And I know he wouldn't have been ready. We had to do our work. We had to go through the experiences we went through in order to really prepare ourselves to be in a relationship. So I don't wish I had met Bob a second before I did that I met him, because that year between my ex and Bob, I really gave myself that time to live my life in such a way that was mine. I was on a mission. I'm going to have my business be where I'm at. I want to have my days look exactly the way that I want to. I want to have fun. I want to adventure. It's like, I want to have an amazing life. I want to radiate that out when I'm out in the world. And I was clear that I was going to meet my person when I was just out in the world doing my thing. I had already decided I'm not going to online date anymore. I'm just going to be me. So I was hardcore just dating myself. I would do what felt good. I would go out when I wanted to. I would hang out with my friends. I was doing work on my business that I hadn't. I was really giving it my time and attention and care. And I was treating myself the way that I expected to be treated by the world, by everybody. And so that time, me dating myself, was what was able to have me be so solid and clear and confident when I got into relationship with Bob. I'm clear of that. There is no doubt in my mind that that time was really important, because what had happened in the past was I was okay with people treating me however they wanted to. I was so in this people pleasing place that all I could do, I was just like a little puppy dog, just excited to just be in relationship. And whatever I did that was okay for my partner was fine. And I wasn't demanding what I deserved. I wasn't really calling that in for myself of like, no, I want to go out on dates, and no, I want you to be the person that planned, and I deserve that, and I'm gonna really stick to that. I hadn't really exercised that muscle to the point where it was really strong. I'd kind of done it a little bit and started and stopped, but that's why this step is actually really crucial. This is your time to learn, your time to grow, your time to be really solid in yourself, to be confident in who you are and what you deserve and your worth. Because I will tell you, that piece right there, the worth piece, is the one that I see all of the time with women, is they don't think that they're worth it. They don't think they're worth having an amazing relationship where they get to have everything that they want. And they sure as hell are not living that way now. They're not living like they deserve amazing. And that the person that comes into their lives should be lucky beyond belief to be with them. I told a client of mine that today. Like, I'm sorry, but the person that you're with should be kissing their feet to be with you, because you're amazing. I know you are. And I know that you're the kind of person that would be the most amazing girlfriend in the world. So why not expect that? But she wasn't expecting that of herself. She really wasn't. So again, the third one is like, this is your time to do that work and to exercise that muscle of I deserve this. This is my life. I get to have it. I get to be the best person I am. Because here's the thing. What I love about relationships is the other person really makes us want to be the best person we are, right? So if you're in relationship with yourself, are you inspiring yourself to be the best person that you are? Are you not constantly striving to be the best person that you are? Are you waiting for somebody else to be that motivation? I mean, again, that's a bonus to me. But I spent that year between when I was with Thomas and when I was with Bob really, truly working hard at being the best person that I can be for me. And again, that's because I was dating myself. I was inspiring that of myself, and I was expecting that of me too. That, have I worked through my insecurities? Have I healed from the past? Things would come up. I went on a date with somebody in between that time of when I broke up with Thomas and when I was with Bob, and I literally, and it's really embarrassing to even say this, but I'm not calling for a couple of days. He disappeared, and that triggered all of my fear of abandonment stuff. And it was a huge wake-up call for me that I haven't really done the work on this. I really haven't. And if I don't dive into this, it's gonna show up in my next relationship. And so it's not only a service to me for me to do that work and really not have myself go into this crazy trigger of, if someone isn't contacting me in a couple of days, I'm gonna feel like they're leaving me for good. But it was also thinking about my future partners. Like, I don't want them to have to go through that either when, if it's not intentional. If I really love that person, I want to come, as whole and healed as possible. We're never going to be perfect, because that's, again, the beauty of relationship. When you're in a relationship, you're going to have them help you do the work that you could never do alone. But I wanted to really make sure that I came to the table having done as much work as possible. So that's, the other piece is us making sure we're doing the work on ourselves and dating ourselves and really treating ourselves well. Because if I was in a relationship with myself and I saw myself feeling sad or lonely or triggered or in reaction to something, I would want my partner to comfort me, to nurture me, to ask me what I need, to help me work through that. I would want to work through that for myself and my partner. So it's this mirror. The dating yourself is just a mirror of whatever you're going through. How would you want the person you're dating or your future partner to be with you or to treat you? And you get to do that for yourself. You get to start getting used to what that feels like. So that's the fourth part. And dating yourself is really, there's something about our beliefs, they live in our head, but when we're in action, when we're really taking those steps, it's sinking into our body. There's change that's happening on a literal cellular level. You are going to get used to doing something differently, and then that rewires your brain. And so this process of dating yourself is also so that you can create a new expectation and a new relationship with how you get to be treated. Get used to it. If you've only had scraps, how will you know a banquet? How will you be able to enjoy a banquet when it comes? Start feasting now. Start going out to better restaurants now. Save up money if you have to. I don't care. Again, the excuses. If there are excuses around waiting until a future time, why? Why wait? To me, that just says, I don't think I'm worth it. I don't think I'm worth a banquet. So if you don't, then again, that's the work. Get used to that now. So, we talked about starting to just ask yourself that question around what would you want to do? How would you want to be treated? Starting to really take action and schedule those kinds of things, doing the work on being the kind of person that you want to be just in life in general. All of those things are really important. And I would say probably the biggest piece to a lot of this is like attracts like. It's just an energetic law. Like attracts like. And if you are not being the kind of person that you want to be and being the kind of person that you would want to date, it's going to be a lot harder to attract that person to you because something will feel off. And would you want to date you right now? And that's another question to ask. Like, if you took yourself out of the equation and you were looking at yourself as somebody that is a potential partner, would you want to date you? Would you want to get into a relationship with you? Would you feel that you would be the kind of person that would enjoy every moment, would want to be the best person that they can be, that would work through conflicts and challenges from a really present and open and honest and communicative way? All the things that we're wanting from the other person, are you doing that now? And are you being that now in this moment? So, big lesson here, do not wait and start to be that now. Have the kind of life you would have now. Do the things you want to do now. How do you want to feel when you're in a relationship? Feel like that now. I heard a podcast the other day where the woman was talking about money And she was saying, you know, I keep saying that when I have a lot of money, I'm going to donate to charity. And then she admitted, and which is what I loved about what she was saying, was she was honest and said, then I asked myself, am I donating money now? No. Why not? Even if it's $5. She wants to donate money. She wants to feel like she's making a difference and that she's contributing to a cause. But she wasn't even doing it now. She can do it now. But again, there's this thing that we have inside about the future. And then if that happens, everything will be different, when we can create that now. And the way the law of attraction works really is if you're in that feeling state now, it's going to be much more attractive, really, for things to come into your life if you're in that space. So whether it's because it's going to attract the kind of person that you want, whether it's going to communicate that this is how I get to be treated and this is what I deserve and this is what I want in a relationship, or whether it's just for you to as a person care for yourself in a way that you deserve. I mean, there really is no losing here. I just hope you all see that. There really is no losing. So that's the gist of it. I really want to see women taking care of themselves. I really do. I really do. We all deserve amazing things. We deserve to be heard and seen and understood and cared for. We deserve to have compassion and empathy. We also deserve someone to carry the load with us, to really show up in a relationship and meet us there and be 50-50 in the sense of we're both putting in equal amounts of work into the relationship. So giving yourself that time and that space to really do that work and figure out where you are, how you usually show up in a relationship, how you usually approach dating, you know, is it really coming from a solid place of I love myself and anyone would be ecstatic to be with me, and really confident and trusting that it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen and the person is going to be amazing and worth the wait. Because that was the other thing that I was telling about. You were worth the wait. I was 35 when I met him, but he was worth the wait. And I look back at all my other relationships and I was grateful that they taught me. They brought me here. I would not be the person that I am had I not gone through those experiences. And as trite as that sounds, it's true. I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't be so solid in myself and also willing to do the work and also grateful for the person he is if I hadn't experienced those things. I'm just like, thank God for you, because you give me all the things that I always wanted and I never had. And I can see that now. There's a contrast. There's something to compare to. And so there is this daily sense of appreciation for him and what he brings. But it was me shifting myself to know that I deserve those things so that I can receive them and really receive them. That is a big piece of what I wanted to teach today. I'm just going to check and make sure that there aren't any questions that popped in while we were chatting before calling it a day. But 1 second. Okay. Nothing has come in, and I don't want to make this a longer thing than it needs to be, but thank you so much. Again, for me, the biggest piece is for women to really get how amazing they are and not to settle. And so dating yourself, to me, is in the hopes that this isn't about waiting until something happens in the future, but really treating yourself as if every single day is your ideal day. When you go to bed at night, can you say that today was amazing? Today was everything that I wanted and more? Were you really striving to be that kind of person that shows up in the world and is alive and vibrant and passionate? Because that's attractive. Not just for romantic relationships, for friends, for work, for business, for anything in life. Like, that is what calls in amazing, when we really stand in that place. And so ask yourself that every night. What were your favorite things? What were you proud of? What are you celebrating? Was today an ideal day? And if not, that's okay. You have tomorrow. Start again. And then you can ask yourself the same thing. Then you come. And that's what I want for you, to really operate from that place of trust and love and confidence, and knowing that you get to have whatever you want, and your needs and desires are important and they get to be met. So thank you so much for watching. And if you want more information about either offerings or blog posts or the next Hangout, go to nataliethecoach.com/newsletter and sign up. I send out about future Hangouts. I also do tarot scopes. And one thing that you can get when you sign up for the newsletter is an e-guide about the top 5 ways we unknowingly sabotage our dream relationship. And so I kind of walk you through the 5 things that I found in all 5 years of coaching around what gets in the way that we don't even know about, we unconsciously do. And then in addition to that, because I love you and I'm a giver and I love gifts, I also created a workbook. So then you would go through each of these 5 things and really transform those things from something that might be sabotaging you to something that creates success in your relationships. So please take me up on the offer and the gift. You can go to nataliethecoach.com/newsletter for instant access to both the e-guide and the workbook. Thank you all for coming. See you next month.